I suspect. I can't say 100%.
Sure you can.
In other words, goodbye to everyday. Yeah.
Well,
There may be
right.
a new version
Right.
of everyday math that will more than likely be a mastery approach as
Right.
opposed to a spiral approach.
Which would actually be kind of, from what I understand, a whole different. Because everyday math, the spiral was the
Right.
whole
Yeah.
thing. Was
This
the
is
spiral.
definitely mastery.
Right.
Yeah,
here.
not spiral. Yeah, okay.
Right. So I do suspect that there will be a math adoption.
Now,
If we feel that there's a company that has something good for us,
And I mean,
and that they're actually ready.
this is inevitable, Common Core, right?
Oh, they
We're
adopted it.
assuming that this is. we're
The
going-
state adopted it, so it wasn't this past summer, which was 11. It was either July of '09 or July of '10.
That was a condition of accepting the stimulus money. That the governor
Right.
had to assure the feds that we would adopt the Common Core. So we didn't have to do this, except to get the money in.
We as a state.
We as a state,
Not
yes.
we as OPSEC.
Oh, no, not locally.
Right.
Nobody asked us.
It's my understanding from Everyday Math that they're working on a bridge.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to buy the whole curriculum over, they'll give you, I'm
Right.
sure at some fee.
Oh, yeah, it's a big fee. We have some samples. We have the everyday math samples. We're looking at it.
So might it be too soon? Like, because Common Cores are just coming, might we be better to supplement for a year while publishers go figure out what they need to do?
Mhm.
Not that they haven't had enough warning,
Right,
but.
and that's what we're going to look at. We have some. We've been asking for samples, and we need to study this.
But in a perfect world, we would supplement during the 12-13 school
year.
year.
Okay.
And in a perfect world, we'd have a new adoption ready for implementation for the 13-14 school year.
Right.
The question is, are they going to be able to rewrite the programs, field test them, and have them ready for market?
Right, and that's what we're seeing right now with the 6th through 8 adoption. So, we're not fools because we know everybody thinks that every single thing they do right now is Common Core. And so this just gives you another graphic of how the domains are distributed across the grade levels.
I just had one other
That's okay.
sideline question. I just put this one together. You said Texas didn't adopt it.
Right.
And
The
isn't it
biggest
Texas the
textbook,
one that
yes,
makes all the
yes,
textbooks?
yes.
So, and that adds
And
to the
I don't know
confusion,
why
but-
they didn't. I don't
Politics.
know. Right, exactly. Everything is politics.
Didn't adopt the Common Core.
Right,
Well, they also didn't accept the stimulus money.
right. And they thrive a lot of the textbook adoption because they're so big.
Right,
Texas
and
and
that's,
California.
yeah, I was watching
Yeah.
a show on that where they're showing that
Right.
they determine a lot of what's available for us.
Right.
So that just seems kind of, that's going to confuse things if they're not going this way.
Absolutely. So I think the important thing here is that these standards are not intended to be new names for old ways of doing business. That is the takeaway. That this is really a transformational change in both teaching and learning. It mandates even higher outcomes at every grade level. It forces us to have a common language. We'll talk about the new testing. And as Phil just talked about, some federal funding has been tied to the adoption. And more subjects are being developed. And as I said, I just got that email Friday to bring a team to look at the science standards. Go ahead.
When you were saying federal funds is being tied or were? I mean,
Were.
we've got
Probably
them
were,
in-
and I don't know if more will be. I'm
Were
assuming
now.
more, right.
So we might get some money to do this with it? But
Oh, I
we're
don't
not
think
going
No,
we'll.
I would say we wouldn't get the money that we used to get.
Right.
Right.
if we don't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but if, I guess what I'm saying is there potentially any money to soften the blow if we adopt a new curriculum?
I would say probably not.
Thank you.
So in summary, we had 6 shifts in literacy and 6 shifts in math. The biggest ones, more nonfiction, higher Lexiles, text complexity for all students. Looking for teachers to be able to have the time. I see that as a huge challenge. We have so little time within our schedule, and this will be very new for teachers. We have 7 days of training coming up in June to begin this process. The idea that every teacher is a literacy teacher, I love, but if I'm a die-hard science teacher, I might not love that. And so we'll be thinking about that. In math, the implications are that we have individual priorities at each grade level, and it lists them, and that might provide some clarity for teachers, especially K through 5, where those teachers teach every subject.
I don't see any technology in the math. Is there? Or-
There is, and let me see. We'll talk about that. There's technology both in math and reading, and it's really embedded. Using your technology to solve problems, to publish, to, do.
So,
Yeah, it's more about doing something with it. It's creating. So the shift from what's taught to what students need to be able to do, solve problems, communicate, adapt to change, work in teams, analyze and conceptualize. And we saw that in some areas that was a weakness for us, the analyzing, conceptualizing. Reflecting on performance, creating, innovating, critiquing. And so here's the technology, which, in mathematics, it's which tools help to perform different tasks. Visualize the results of your assumptions. In language arts, it's producing. And so in 2015, we have the Smarter Balanced Assessment. So this will be a consortium that New Hampshire is part of. It has, I used to know the number, I think it was 34 states have gone with Smarter Balanced, and the other one is PARC. I can't remember what PARC stands for, it's P-A-R-C-C. But those are the 2 assessment systems that will be across the nation. What is new about this is that you can do the summative assessments twice a year if you choose to. They will be on the computer. In my last board report, I think I mentioned that we were doing the readiness survey. Each school district in New Hampshire is completing a readiness survey by the middle of June to talk about our readiness to be able to complete this assessment online. And I don't believe there's any money for that as well.
So if a child moved in 6th grade to another state that had one of the 36 states, their next semester they would pick right up with
Yeah.
that test where they left off.
Yes,
And I'm assuming the other vendor must
Yeah.
be pretty close to that
yes.
because of one standard. Thank you.
So these are the states. The white states, I forgot I had this in there, the white states are the PARC states. The blue and purple states are the Smarter Balanced states.
So of course we joined 2 that are not the same.
No, those are, Massachusetts went with PARC. And Rhode Island, I bet you can barely see it, they went with PARC. And we used to do the NECAP with Rhode Island. So, the assessment, again, it's summative, it is online, and it will give us both achievement and growth across time. And I think that's the big takeaway from there. and that it allows us to have some interim and formative assessments. I don't know that those are going to be ready in 2015. I don't know when those start.
Do you know results faster with smarter than we do
Well,
with VCAT? So we don't know yet.
I don't know yet, but I can't imagine if it's online, we have to wait that many months.
Do you know who's going to develop the interim assessments?
I don't, do you?
I do.
Tell us.
They will be developed locally.
Oh, so we'll be doing it. Last time we developed local assessments, we did not do a terrific job.
And they-
So, we're gonna have to figure that one out a little bit better.
And they have to be shown to be valid and reliable
Right,
measures.
that was the part that's really hard to do. The valid and reliable part of that. All right. And so again, here's our timeline for the Common Core. Next year, we will be really delving into unpacking means you really look at and understand your standards. You compare them with our current programs, learn about that whole text complexity is going to be really a big challenge. And we're looking for full implementation in 13-14 because we will have our first assessment in the spring of 15. So that's the schedule. And that's the impact. We'll be developing a new curriculum. We'll be enhancing instructional practices and new assessments and data systems, technology integration, professional development. And, you know, this dovetails with some of our work groups. And here is our math review. So we'll look at program review, Common Core implementation, curriculum development, instructional practices, and then look at what materials we need. So,
I just had a question going back to the complex text. That one keeps going through my mind. Do they get into detail as far as like giving you examples that
They do.
this is a fourth grade book?
yes,
and-
yes, they're very good. They give us lots of, there's exemplars, there are types of books, there are examples of the kind of writing they want to see. We do get a lot of samples, which is good, which is very good for
And
us to
that's-
look at.
That's from Common Core?
That's
so we
from
can
Common Core.
look at curriculums
Yeah.
and see if those curriculums
Yeah.
are doing that. Okay.
They even picked out, you know, some guidelines when you look at publishers. So they did provide a lot of support resources with this. It was not one of those, here you go, you're on your own. They provided a lot of information for us to use. And there are some bigger states that have a bigger tax base that we can go to and steal stuff from as well.
Well, I was thinking it might help you with those interim benchmarks,
Yes.
because if you actually have some
Mhm.
examples, you can know what you
Absolutely.
should be meeting.
Right. So I apologize, I took way too much time.
Very good.